Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sent 10 of his companions to know the Quraysh's secrets so as to be fully aware of what they were planning. Amongst them were Asim ibn Thabit, who was the leader, as well as another of his companions, Khubayb ibn Adi. They set off until they reached a place near Makkah. However, news of them reached the Quraysh, who sent 100 of their most skillful spearmen after them. Along the way, the spearmen almost lost track until they found some discarded date pits. They picked them up and began to follow their trail until they could see the 10 people they were searching for. Asim, the expedition's leader, perceived that they were being chased, so he ordered his companions to climb up a mountain. Nevertheless, the spearmen cornered them and asked them to surrender themselves, giving their word no harm would come to them. Asim, however, fearlessly declared that he would rather die than be taken in their protection, and thus the enemies began showering them with spears, martyring 7 of the 10 companions. The remaining ones were called to step down, promising them that they would remain safe. The 3, including Khubayb, descended the mountain, but one of them decided to die where the other martyrs lay. Khubayb and his partner were taken to Makkah, where they were auctioned as slaves. Children and relatives of the infidels who had died in the Battle of Badr hurried to buy them to avenge their dead. Khubayb's companion, Zaid, was taken away by some people who tortured him severely, while Khubayb was bought and taken captive. Later, he was brought news of the martyrdom of his companion, hoping he would break down, but Khubayb remained steadfast. Despite the numerous attempts to bargain with him over his faith and promising to spare him if he abandoned Islam, there was nothing that they could do to shake Khubayb's faith. Eventually, they led him to a place where he was supposed to be killed in public. The spectators around him were in thousands, with women and children shouting and cursing him and pushing him to his place of execution. Amidst the clamor, Khubayb said in a firm voice, "Allow me to pray 2 rakahs before my death." The Quraysh allowed him, hoping it would cause him to abandon his faith. After Khubayb had prayed, he turned to face the Quraysh leaders and said, "By Allah, only if you weren't thinking that I was asking to pray for fear of death, I would have continued praying." He then raised his hands towards the sky and said, "O Allah, count them one by one and destroy them all." For the first time in Arab history, a man was being crucified before being killed on the cross. The Quraysh prepared a large cross made of tree trunks and tied Khubayb to it tightly. One of the Quraysh leaders approached him and asked, "Would you like Muhammad, peace be upon him, to be in your place while you go free?" Khubayb responded with firm determination, "By Allah, I would never want to be safe amongst my family while even a thorn hurts Muhammad, peace be upon him." His words acted like a trigger, causing more shouting and jeering to erupt, and with swords and spears beginning to tear apart his limbs. As the swords thrashed and cut him to pieces, Khubayb lifted his eyes to the heavens and called out, "O Allah, send my salam to Muhammad, peace be upon him." Allah answered his prayer, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was filled with a strong feeling that his companions were facing hardships, and he almost saw the crucified dead body of one of them. Immediately, he sent for his companions to check, and with Allah's guidance, they managed to reach the spot where Khubayb's mutilated body was still fixed to the cross. His body was lowered and dug in an unknown spot, which no one to this day knows about.